Hi there, I'm Ben, and these are all 22 games that are going to be available at launch for the PS5's PlayStation Plus collection. As you will already be aware, we are getting 22 PS4 games ready to play on the PS5 as part of PlayStation Plus. As always, with my PlayStation Plus review videos, I'll be looking at these games from a trophy hunter's perspective, letting you know what to expect when going for the platinums for these games. Now, these are the PS4 versions of the games, so no new trophies. If you already have the platinums for these games on the PS4, you can't go back and do them again, they use the same trophy list. Now, the big question is, can you play these games on a PS4? And the answer is yes and no. Yes, you can play them on the PS4, but you need a PS5 to add them to your account first. So no, if you just have a PS4, you cannot access these games. Sorry. Good news though, these games will be available forever as long as you have a PlayStation Plus membership. These games are separate to the monthly games. Right, without further ado, let's take a look at each game. I'm going to be going over each one in alphabetical order and a bit quicker than usual. We've got a lot to get through. Oh, for those of you that are saying 22 games, I thought it was 20, I'm counting the Crash Bandicoot games individually as they have separate trophy lists. First up is Batman Arkham Knight. Arkham Knight is the final and probably the easiest out of all the Arkham games. That being said, you do still need to achieve 100% completion, complete the AR challenges and play the game through for a second time on New Game Plus. There is a lot to do in this game, and personally I think the Batmobile is a bit overused, but thankfully nothing is missable, so no missable trophies. Still, all in all, a game worth playing if you haven't already. Next up, Battlefield 1. The Battlefield series is kind of a shell of what it used to be, but Battlefield 1 was still a good time and not a particularly difficult platinum. The single player is pretty short, but there are challenge-based trophies for it which do make the experience more interesting. I will warn you though, if you have an aversion to multiplayer trophies, then stay away from this one. Most of the platinum time is spent in multiplayer. They are pretty easy to obtain, however. The game of the generation, Bloodborne. Is the game difficult? Yes, in places it is, I'm not going to lie to you. Is it a game that can be overcome with a bit of patience and practice? Absolutely. I think anyone can get the platinum in this game. If you plan ahead, it can be done in a single playthrough. The vast majority of trophies for this game are story-based, and for beating certain bosses is actually very straightforward. If you've never played Bloodborne, please do so, even if you have no intention of going for the platinum. You can thank me later. Fourth on the list is Call of Duty Call of Duty Black Ops 3 Zombie Chronicles Edition. The Zombie Chronicles part of the title means you will be getting 8 remastered zombie maps along with the standard game. These maps do not have any trophies tied to them. Now, this is an exceptionally rare platinum. Out of the million or so people that own this game, only 7,400 have the platinum. The platinum itself is pretty standard Call of Duty fare for the most part, save for personal decorator, which means you must earn every decoration in the game. This includes things like playing every mission in the single player on veteran without restarting the checkpoint. Yeah, hard pass. The next title, Crash Bandicoot Sane Trilogy, is actually 3 separate games, so it has 3 separate platinums. I'm not going to go through each game individually, all 3 trophy lists are very similar. Having said that, the difficulty does vary, with the first game, Crash Bandicoot, being the most difficult and the third game, Warped, being the easiest of the 3. Now, what makes the games difficult is earning the relics. Basically, you need to play the levels almost flawlessly so that you can earn a gold relic. This needs to be done for every level. Hats off to anyone who has these platinums, especially for the first game. And judging by my trophy list reviews, quite a lot of you actually have them as well. I feel like Days Gone was one of the more underrated games of the PS4 generation, initially at least, but now there's no excuse not to play it if you haven't done so already. It's an excellent game. Trophy wise, it's very straightforward. The vast majority of the trophies are story related, kill related, and unfortunately collectible related, but you don't need 100% of them, only 75%. Nothing is missable, so none of the trophies are missable, so you don't need to worry about the trophies while playing. The game is quite long and can be quite slow to get started, but it's definitely one worth sticking with. Also, free DLC, which is always nice. Detroit Become Human is a choice-based game. You're constantly making them and changing the outcome of the story, and unfortunately this is reflected in the trophies as well. The Platinum takes roughly 3 playthroughs, and for the most part you'll be watching a lot of scenes over and over, which can get a bit tedious. Without spoiling anything, let's just say you need to do a good and a bad playthrough, and then kind of a rewind playthrough to change some choices to get specific trophies. Detroit has one of the more interesting sets of collectibles I've seen in a game. They're magazines that are always in the same place, but change depending on your choices. Detroit is a very good game and definitely worth experiencing if you haven't. War never changes, and apparently neither does the modern Fallout formula. Whether you see this as a good or bad thing, this is up to you. If you've never played a Fallout game, however, Fallout 4 is a great place to start. The Platinum for this game, while not particularly difficult, will demand a lot of you. It's a very long game and there are missable trophies which mainly pertain to the endings and to side quests. It's definitely worth looking up a guide for this one before starting. Next we have Final Fantasy 15 Royal Edition. Once again another game that comes with some DLC, not all of it, just the Royal Pack. As you can imagine, Final Fantasy 15 is not going to be a quick platinum. It's one of the longest ones in this list in fact, but don't let that put you off. It's actually pretty easy. Most trophies are broken down into story, side missions, doing something for the first time and maxing out certain levels like photography and cooking. No, I'm not joking. And thankfully, once again, we have a game where nothing is missable, so this one should be a relaxing ride. What can I say about God of War that hasn't been said already? Go and play it. If you already have the Platinum, start a new account and play it again. The trophy experience in God of War is a very rewarding one. Yet again, we have a game with no missable trophies, so you can just sit back and play the game and clean things up later on. You do basically have to complete the game to 100% by finding pretty much everything, but it never feels boring in God of War. The fact that the Platinum is a 30 to 40 hour one and 55% of people have the Platinum for this game, I think that speaks for itself. After watching the trailer for Infamous Second Son for doing this video, I can say it still looks great. Considering the game came out only a few months after the PS4 itself, that's not bad at all. If you did miss this one, I can definitely recommend it. Now while there aren't any missable trophies per se, you will need to do 2 playthroughs, a good and a bad one. This is because a lot of trophies are tied to either good or bad karma, with 2 for reaching either max good or max bad karma, and this can't be done in the same playthrough. The rest of the trophies are for completing certain activities and clearing each district, but this doesn't really take that long, and to be honest, it's pretty fun. Hey, do you want to see something equally funny and terrifying? Look at Monster Hunter World's Platinum completion time. This game is a massive undertaking, one of the biggest on PS4. As scary as that time is, it's calming to know that you can play Monster Hunter World however you like. Once again, there's nothing you can miss in this game. While this game isn't difficult, there is a learning curve and lots to learn with regards to mechanics. I would love to have the time for a platinum like this, but sadly, I never will. Mortal Kombat 10 looks cool, right? Fairly easy platinum too. Well, it would be if the game wasn't broken. There's a mode called Invasion that doesn't work anymore, and sadly some of the trophies are tied to it, so essentially Mortal Kombat 10 is a non-starter and one you should skip. Coming in second place with regards to platinum length, we have Persona 5. If there's one game that gets recommended to me all the time, it's not Persona 5, it's Persona 5 Royal. But this is a good place to start. Now, unlike Monster Hunter World, Persona 5 has a metric ton of missable trophies. Nearly all of them are. For that reason, a guide is a must, and there looks to be a very good one on PSN profiles. Be prepared for one hell of a journey going for this one. I've heard nothing but good things. One PlayStation exclusive I really do feel bad for missing. Lovable Lombax, it's Ratchet and Clank. Of all the PlayStation icons like Spyro and Crash, Ratchet and Clank have always appealed to me most. The trophy list is the same too, not too simple, not too hard, just right. Now surprisingly there are missable trophies in Ratchet and Clank, and you'll want to look them up beforehand as some of them are very easy to miss. 2 playthroughs are needed, so you will have a second chance to get them though. Trust me, playing this game twice is not going to feel like a chore, it's one of the best remakes out there. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard has a pretty typical trophy list when it comes to Resident Evil games. Many playthroughs are needed, at least 3. This is because of trophies for finishing the game on certain difficulties, and for trophies like completing the game while only opening an item box 3 times. Of course there is a speedrun trophy as well. Complete the game in 4 hours. This is actually very generous and easily done. And of course multiple endings as well. Resident Evil games always demand multiple playthroughs, but they always seem to get the trophies right. Not just here's New Game Plus, go and complete it, but actually makes it feel different and exciting by adding stipulations. And with Resident Evil 7 being one of the best in the series, this is definitely worth going for. The Last Guardian actually has a very short trophy list when it comes to the actual number of trophies. It is a bit of a shame that 2 of those trophies are rather pointless speedrun trophies. One for completing the game in 30 hours, one for 15, but ultimately there's one for completing the game in 5 hours anyway. I suppose these are sort of stacking difficulty trophies in a way. Most of the trophies are for collectibles or making Trico, the big cat dog bird thing, do something specific. Oh, did I mention a no death run is required as well? Thankfully, restarting the checkpoint before death works, but still, this is quite a demanding list, even though it has so few trophies. The Last of Us Remastered is another game that comes with DLC, all of it in fact. While this is an all-in-one package of one of the best games ever made, the Platinum is the same as the original PS3 version. Having said that, there is a new difficulty that is part of one of the DLCs, so instead of doing a normal playthrough and then a Survivor New Game Plus, I would do a grounded New Game Plus instead. That way you'll get all difficulty trophies in just 2 playthroughs, they all stack. The same goes for the online component too, there are DLC trophies for that as well. Work on those while going for the Platinum, trust me, you'll have plenty of time. Unfortunately, and what puts most people off the Platinum for this game, you need to do 2 playthroughs of the online as well. Don't let that put you off though, as much as I hate online trophies, the multiplayer for The Last of Us is actually very enjoyable, and it's surprisingly active as well. Uncharted 4: A Thief's End is practically a perfect end to Nathan Drake's story. The trophy list isn't too bad either. You have the usual suspects, crushing difficulty, find all relics and speedruns, but there's actually quite a bit of variety when it comes to the miscellaneous trophies. With the game containing my favourite trophy ever, Stage Fright. Multiplayer trophies are here as well, but don't worry, they're almost perfect too. They are taster trophies, so to speak. Come try out our multiplayer for a while. If you like it, stay. If not, cool. Here's some trophies. Finally, to round out the list, we have Until Dawn. While Detroit Become Human is great, the replays can be a little boring. Until Dawn, however, doesn't feel nearly as tedious to replay. Expect 1.5 playthroughs really, a nice, clean, save everybody initial run, then a kill everyone half playthrough, and that's pretty much it. The trophy list is really short and simple, collectibles and choices. While trophies are technically missable, you can just rewind by using chapter select and then continue playing from there. Until Dawn is one of the best exclusives on the PS4 for both gamers and non-gamers. It's a must play. Right, that's it. All 22 PlayStation 4 starting lineup games for the PS5 PlayStation Plus collection. More may be added in the future, who knows? Which one will you be playing first after finishing Demon's Souls? Let me know in the comments. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next week for the regular PlayStation Plus review for December's games. See you then.